Trigger warning. The following content may include sexual content, excessive or gratuitous violence content, Build-A-Bear Workshop content, death and or dying content, naked Mitch McConnell, and doom scrolling. If you are offended by the aforementioned content, please stop listening and go ahead and give a 5-star review anyway. If you are not offended, you are probably a terrible person and have discovered your people. Welcome, new listener.
You're now tuning in, so get ready for your mindless and sometimes mindful hosts, Josh, Jenn, and their very special guest for the morning. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I'm here with Jenn as always, and of course, we have a very special treat for everyone. Unfortunately, not as special as the pre-show we just had. We have filmmaker Dustin Phillips here. He's working on a documentary for Kansas City Music and things like that. But also just has like a very, very wide history of just outrageous things. I mean, you've been in the Guinness Book of World Records, MMA fighting. You're doing your documentary. Like, tell us a little bit about yourself. Or actually, how are you doing today first? I'm so
I'm doing good. Not too bad.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I'm digging the hat, cocaine and caviar.
Yeah.
I couldn't see what it said. Okay.
It's a good combination. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, wow. Sad. Right off the bat. So tell us about Candyland Media, your company. Is this your company?
Yeah. So I founded Candyland in 2019. And so we do right now we do a lot of commercials, content, almost for a lot of the local restaurants and things like that are starting to do most of their advertisement on social media. So we do a lot of content creating for a lot of local businesses. We're trying to grow into some national businesses right now. We've done some music videos for a few artists. We got a couple awards last year for some of our music videos. And then we did a short film. We have right now one of our screenplays just got admitted into the Nichols Fellowship, which is held on by the academies. And then we have one of our pilots that we wrote that just got into the Austin Film Festival. So, nice. And then with our documentary, and then we have another pilot that is in pre-production right now. We're talking with distribution ship.
Cool. So, wait, so how did you, because you were like doing MMA and then this happened right after it, or what? How'd you get into this?
What's the timeline?
Give me some details.
So I was always like did stuff with film. Like my parents got a camcorder when I was younger. I don't know. I think like 4th, 5th grade, maybe a little earlier than that. So then, by the time I got to like 5th, 6th grade, like middle school age, they're letting me use it and stuff like that. So I was shooting like movies and things like that in my neighborhood with like the neighborhood kids. And then in high school, I did video production. And then in college, I did a little bit of video production. And then sports kind of took over because I was at school on a sports scholarship. So I just, kind of went that way, went to social life and everything. And then after fighting, because I was around and I did a lot of acting, I say that loosely. I mostly did like extra work.
Right.
Like a bunch of the fighters started getting into like doing extra work and acting, stuff like that. It's an easy way to make money in between like practices. You can go like stand on set, get paid like $800.
Nice.
For doing like 6 hours worth of work. You were just standing there in between practice.
Nice.
Oh,
So so I started doing that. So I was paying attention to stuff behind the scenes because I was always drawn to that. And then one of my friends and his wife took over doing the Flipper Flop for the HGTV channel. And so he had asked me to kind of help out. And then another one of our friends helped out as well. And he was kind of more on the camera and I was always kind of more background. So I always had the ability to talk to like the director and the camera guy, and just talking with them. And then my younger brother was getting into it, so I was like, shit, I need to go back to school for this, and go to a tech school and take online classes. And then one thing led to another, and then I founded this when I finished.
Nice, dude. That's really cool.
Awesome.
And so, what do you enjoy the most out of doing it? Like the commercials, the movies, or is this documentary you got going on like your prized baby?
No, baby.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's my prize baby. It's just the thing that's more time consuming, because it takes so long to make a documentary. In the sense of what we're doing, I'm sure if COVID hadn't happened and then a few other things, we probably could have got some of the interviews filmed like quicker in a smaller time frame. However, we're also documenting like 3 different musicians over like a year to a year and a half span.
Nice.
So that would have taken time. Yeah, so that would have taken time regardless.
Right.
And then with editing and everything on a documentary, it takes a long time.
How
Yeah.
long are you spending on each person? I mean,
so my shooting schedule with the individuals is Monday and Sunday. Every Monday and Sunday, I go with them for like 30 to 45 minutes. So, they all live within like a couple miles from me.
okay.
So I can, it takes me all in all like an hour a weekend to document them, because there's not a whole lot aside from like, I'll go to shows, and then I'll go like when 2 of them have been working on albums. So I'll go to the studio and shoot for like 30 minutes. So you're just kind of having a documentation and progression, like once a week, 4 weeks out of the month, 52 weeks a year. That's a lot of footage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is like purely about live music in the city of Kansas?
No. Okay. So the documentary, it's about the history of Kansas City music, which is a pretty intricate history. Almost all of American music now can have its roots based in Kansas City. Like rock and roll came from Kansas City. It was invented in like 1933, right down on 12th and Main by Big Joe Turner.
Yeah.
So like most music is all traced back to Kansas City. From the jazz back in 1918 through the 20s, everybody came to Kansas City because it was during Prohibition, was the only known wet town. So at one point, Kansas City had like 150 nightclubs. Like it was the most happening place in the world. So all the jazz musicians from Harlem, Chicago, from Oklahoma, there was nowhere else where to play because of Prohibition. So they all came to Kansas City, and it became kind of like a melting pot. So all this stuff, New Orleans, Chicago, New York, the down south, all this jazz music came to Kansas City and kind of got reinvented, and then became kind of a Kansas City jazz style. And then through that, blues came.
Yeah.
And then through blues came rock and roll, all right down in Kansas City.
That's really cool. I mean, that's
That's
super
amazing.
cool. And so it's called The Sounds of City. When do you think that's going to be, or when's the expected deadline, or not deadline, but release?
Yeah, it'll be released no matter what in 2023. We have a deadline we're trying to make as far as for editing goes. Because there's 2 festivals that I would really like to get in. One of them. So we have a deadline that we need to finish by like August of 2022.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's a lot of work. I'm so ADD. I can't imagine just focusing on that one thing for that long.
How many people in your team do you have?
With our audio, and then I brought we have like 3 to 4 that
Okay.
work that I have to bring out for the documentary.
Okay.
And then like that's for when I go do interviews, because we bring the whole crew. And then like when I go shoot the individual artists, like I go by myself. because it's just a single camera.
Shit.
That's
So,
cool.
I mean, that's a very small team you got there.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need much for, you just need somebody running the cameras and somebody running the audio.
I just always assumed it was like a huge production. Like it took a village to make some sort of production.
Well, like the
you're making.
ABC ones and shit like that, like the extra,
Not
like
on documentaries. Documentaries are real small crews.
really?
Yep. But like TV shows and then films obviously are bigger, depending on what size it was made. Like, small indie films, you might have maybe like 10 or 12 like crew members at most.
Wow. That's cool. Shit.
Wait,
I start my own crew now.
I mean, all you need is an audio person, a lighting person, a camera person, and then a director. Like that's 4 right there. Chances are, you have a few extra people, like assistant, things like that, helping. But I mean,
what is cocaine and caviar?
I think it's a record label.
A record label?
I don't know. A friend of mine was wearing it, and I used to be a fan of cocaine, so I thought it was cool.
Did you ever snort cocaine off of somebody's body parts?
Yeah, no, several times. Several times. I've also had it done off of me several times.
Off of what body part?
Well, mostly my penis.
Really?
Yeah. Once in a Wahoo's bathroom.
I heard that's like what
In a what
keeps it real
bathroom?
hard.
A
real long.
Wahoo's. It's a taco place out on the West Coast.
In a Wahoo's bathroom.
Yeah.
So is that true? Like if you put like Coke on the dick, it's going to stay hard. It almost acts like Viagra or something.
I don't know. I don't
Wouldn't it
know.
numb it?
I've never heard that before.
Oh, okay.
It's not your dick that's snorting the coke. What the hell?
No, I don't
You
know.
gotta, like, put
Somebody
it to the,
told
like-
me if you rub some Coke on the dick, it's like Viagra. It's all the same. And I'm like,
No, I did used to with some ladies. I used to ask them, and they would let me squirt. You'd mix a little cocaine with water, and with one of those plastic syringes. There's no needle, but like the baby
Put up
ones.
their butt.
Yeah, and squirt the cocaine in the asshole.
I've never
Gets
I
you
did
super high.
I did a lot of X, and there would be people that would plug it or whatever, and I was just like, why? I don't.
Because it
I'm
gets you
good.
super high super quick.
Yeah, but I'm good. It'll kick in. I'm good. I need the time.
Like when you're having sex, like, things going up the ass is fine. Whatever you're into. We're
I've
not.
given it a solid try, and I'm like, good on that front. I told my husband that if he lets me do it to him, then I'll let him do it to me.
There's nothing wrong with being pegged.
No, 100%. Actually, you guys are the ones that have something up there that is even like,
Yeah,
makes
the
you come.
prostate.
Like, why do we want something in our asshole? We literally don't.
I mean, I don't
I
mind
don't.
a finger, but like, I don't want none of the like, no toys.
You let
no-
a finger? He won't even let me do a finger.
Oh,
I don't
well.
want to. Literally, I'd have to wear a glove, I think.
We'll talk to Earl about this later.
I would freak out.
But so, all right. Now,
Why are you trying to steer the conversation? I don't want to talk about my butthole anymore, guys.
Yeah, I've already talked about my butthole enough on this show.
It's weird.
So, how did the whole drinking ketchup come about? Because that's what you got into the Guinness Book of World Records for.
Has anyone beaten it yet?
What?
Has anyone beaten it yet?
Yeah. Somebody
Aw,
did
damn
it
it, okay.
years ago. Yeah, it took a long time though.
Okay, so tell us.
Oh, all right. So growing up, I always put ketchup on everything, right? And then my freshman year of college, we were at like a Perkins after a party. I think this was right after the summer of my freshman year of college. Anyhow, we were all kind of drunk and, getting breakfast food. And I put a bunch of ketchup on my eggs, and I think I put too much. And my friend's older brother was with us, and he was sitting across from me, and he commented on the possibility of drinking it. Like, have you ever thought of drinking it? Like, I bet you could, because people, one guy can drink mustard. Like, you should try it. And I was like, no. And he was like, I'll pay for your breakfast if you do it. I'm like, I'll try it. And so I put a straw in and I started sucking it out. And then I got sick and I threw it up. But I did get all the ketchup out.
Wow.
So then fast forward like a week or so later, we were out to eat on a Friday night, and we were at like a Chili's or something, and there was a ketchup bottle just like the one at Perkins. I was like, I'm going to try this again because I'm sober. And I stuck a straw in and I drank it out, and I don't know how fast it was. It was relatively quick enough to where people were like, oh, that was really impressive in an odd way. Anyhow, then I don't know, maybe a month or two later, I got a phone call from the David Letterman show. My friends had called the 1-800 number or whatever for the stupid human tricks, and told them their friend could drink a bottle of ketchup. And so they called me to verify this, and I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, we're going to be out that way. How close is it to, I can't remember what the city was. And I knew it was like a few hours, and I was like, that's a little further than you think. They're like, well, if we make a special trip, can you do it? And I was like, well, yeah, that's fine. So they came to my hometown and had me come up to like the news station, and it was like there was nobody there, but just they needed a studio to film it in. Right. And so we shot it, and it was kind of funny. I can be honest about it now because I don't care. So I drank it, and it was like fast, like I did in Chili's, but they're like, man, is there any way you can do it quicker? Because that took a long time. And I was like, maybe. And they're like, well, go get some breakfast and then come back and do it. Well, so then we did that, and coming back, and then my two buddies were with me, and they were kind of laughing and stuff like that. And they're like, oh no, you're going to do this. And it's like, I wonder what they did. Anyway, so we got back to the studio, and I opened the bottle and I stuck the straw in, and I ended up drinking it. They timed it, and it was like 19 seconds. But like I knew something was wrong because like it came like I sucked it up too quick. I was like, what the fuck?
They didn't fill it up?
No. And so my buddies said that they took the ketchups from their bag and they filled it up with a little water. And I was like, oh, okay. But anyhow, like right when I did it, they were like, hey, how soon can you come to New York? And I was like, well, whenever. And they were like, okay, well, we'll fly you and your friends out if you guys want to come out and do this. I was like, yeah. So we went out to New York. It was Labor Day. It was in September. It was Labor Day weekend. And because what is that? The tennis tournament, U.S. Open.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say Wimbledon. That's the only one.
No, the U.S. Open was going on. So a lot of the players were staying, not like the famous players, but a lot of the players were staying at the same like hotel. It was like a really nice 5-star hotel. And then like the show hooked us up and stuff. So I did that. I did the show, and then they had me do like an extra skit and things like that. And it was really cool. It was kind of disappointing because I was on with Eve 6 and then that band Eve 6.
Yes.
And then I was on with Jason Patrick from the Lost Boys, the older brother, Michael.
Oh.
And I was a huge Lost Boys fan. So when we were in the green room with them, I was like, I was nervous. I was like, oh man, you're Jason Patrick. Like, dude, he was such an asshole. Like he was such an asshole. No. It almost ruined the Lost Boys because he was such an asshole.
God damn it. I hate
But like
that.
Eve 6 was really cool. Like
I love
they were really, they were super cool. But
I mean, not like personally, but
and then Letterman was really cool. Like almost everybody there was really nice to us. So that was cool. And then when I got back, Guinness World Records has called and said that nobody had ever done that. So they'd like to set a record. So they flew me out to LA for like a week to do the stuff for the Guinness World Records. And then they had that TV show Guinness Primetime. And so I did that. And then they set the record. And then they had me go like to the museum to do like an autograph of the bottle. And then they had me, and then when I got back, America's Phone and Home Videos had called. It was like, hey, we'd like you to be a guest on the show. And so I got to do that with Jim Brown, the football player, when he was hosting.
That's awesome.
And then I did Nickelodeon, and then I did this MTV TV show where they go around and break world records.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
wait, what did you do on Nickelodeon?
So on Nickelodeon, it was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They had a bunch of people for the show challenging it. Like it was like a pilot.
Okay.
It was almost like a double dare or something like they were trying to do. And so they had a bunch of contestants trying to break. It was almost like the MTV one, just a bunch of people trying to break world records. And then they would get slimed if they did something like that. But so, and nobody ever beat it. Like there was this one guy. And it kind of irritates me, but it is what it is. Like if you punch in like me, my name with ketchup drinking, it actually pulls up this guy's picture.
What?
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I sent Amazon one time. I was like, hey man, this is me. Here's a picture of me with the world record. Like that dude's not, because I've been on a TV show with that guy. He's the human ketchup machine. He spent like 10 years trying to break my record. Like they wanted to have me on the Leno show. So they brought me out to the Leno show in case he beat it, but he never beat it. It's like, man, like, I don't even want this thing, man. I don't care. It was just a joke.
Oh my God.
That's insane that like it went from just a joke of saying, hey, I'll buy your breakfast and you went for it to like, that was like your claim to fame almost. That sparked a lot of things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So aside from like,
wait, no, hold on. I have something to say.
Okay.
Can we take a quick break so I can?
Oh my God, we're only so.
It's an hour. It's been.
Guys,
Stop.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna find a new co-host and we'll be right back.
Thank you for staying tuned in to the Mindless Morning Show. We hope you're enjoying another fun-filled episode and would love to hear from you. If you're listening, be sure to follow us and leave a review. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be alerted anytime a new episode drops. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry I had to pee. That's why I bring us back in. My question is, how many bottles of ketchup have you drank total? Do you know?
Less than 10.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I would have assumed so much more.
No, you got like, it's not actually, it kind of hurts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, man.
Well, yeah, it's probably not great for you. I don't think.
I mean, it's gotta be like a smoothie.
Josh, do it. Go get your bottle of ketchup.
I don't have. So from what I've seen, it takes a special bottle. Like I have to have the glass Heinz bottle.
Yeah, you have to have the glass bottle, and then you have to have a McDonald's straw to do it.
A McDonald's straw.
Yeah, no. So Guinness. No, so Guinness is like real by the book. So everybody that does it to try to beat it has to do it exactly with the same kind of straw measurements and same bottle and everything that I did it in.
Wow.
I was like, man, I would have used like one of those tapioca ball, like what is that called? The
boba.
Yeah, boba tea.
So what was your record time?
My record time was 33 seconds, but it was a real high percentage of the actual bottle. So that's the most I actually had to drink ketchup, because I'd only done it like 2 times before I was even on David Letterman. I did it. So yeah, like maybe 10 at the most I've ever drank, because when I was on Guinness, they had me do it. I think I did it 3 times on Guinness, because then they had me do it one time for time, and then they weighed it and they were like, oh, there's still too much ketchup in. Maybe if you try it a little slower, to give the Ketchup, because they want, when they establish a record, they don't want it to be broken.
Right.
So they want, so then they were like, that's the idea, is time and quantity. And so they had me do it like at least 3 times. It might have been 4, but I think it was like 3 that I had.
I like a day in between, or is this just all?
Yeah, no, it took like a week. Like, no, they gave me like, I did it, and then I was like a day and a half off.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
no, like that's like kind of like human torture if you just keep like making somebody like,
So, was there any other benefit out of it other than like the little bits of fame?
No, I got a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, no, I got a lot of money, and then I got my SAG card.
What is that?
That's awesome.
Screen Actors Guild.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I got my SAG card from that.
That's amazing.
And so so that's what like helped out like with the extra work and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Because I was a member of SAG.
So that really like sets you up for where you're at now.
Yeah, kind of. I guess. I don't know.
And you like make connections and
I don't think it means anything for me.
Okay.
I mean,
you don't just like, hey, I'm the ketchup guy.
No.
Bro, I would have so much merch. It would not even be funny. Like
it is usually like a first or second date topic though. Because, like everybody.
Only a first date topic. You got to hook them.
Well, no, it's not like I want to come out and say, hey, I can suck really good.
You want to see?
No, it's usually like, just kind of some roundabout. You get to know somebody, like you ask, oh, like what's the craziest thing you've done or something like that. Like, I can't hit them with the craziest shit I've ever done. So I have to like give them one of the least crazy things and kind of see like what their gauge of.
That's a catfish move, bro.
So like, pretend this is our 5th date. What is the craziest shit you've ever done?
Well, no, I give you a rundown of the STDs. I'm like, well, we've been having protected sex for a while now. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, that would probably like you wait till the 5th date to have sex.
Well, yeah, I mean, because no. No, I think every date's different.
Yeah, sure. Online dating for me was never like that. Online dating for me was like, shut up, Josh.
Say every relationship I've ever been in is, I've never had sex on the first date, like long-term relationships. But that wasn't like my choice. It wasn't my choice. It was the female's choice.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
No, good girls just think what they want, man. Me and Earl were together and we had sex on the first date. He came over to have sex.
So anyway, tell us about Pain Train.
Oh, Jesus.
Where did you come up with this?
Oh, my God. Yes, the Pain Train.
Okay, so I was a professional fighter, and I had just gotten brought out to Las Vegas with the gym Extreme Couture that the owner, Randy Couture, had opened up. And so he brought a bunch of like up and coming fighters. And this is back in the day. This is like right before he fought Tim Sylvia for the heavyweight title and pre-Ultimate Fighter. So he was opening this gym and he wanted to bring out a bunch of wrestlers. Anyways, when I was out there, when I finally moved out, they'd been open for like a year now. And they had a blog. They wanted to start a blog for their website. And so I had done some writing in high school and attempted to in college, like for the paper. And so I was like, yeah, I can do it. And so I started writing a weekly blog. And my wife, I was married for like a year. And so this was kind of the tail end of our marriage, but she had suggested you should sign off with something funny at the end of your blog. That, that's the way people know it's you.
Like your catchphrase or what?
Yeah, like a catchphrase. And so I was like, oh, there was those old Terry Tate office linebacker commercials for Reebok back in the 90s. And so that's what he called himself, was the pain train. He'd be like, oh, don't stand on the tracks when the pain train's coming. And so that's how I would sign off the blog. I'm like, and just remember, don't stand on the tracks when the pain train's coming. So fast forward like months later, I was fighting in Fernando Vargas's Worlds Collide tournament, and it was the opening round. And I had gone to the bathroom, and my coach, Sean Tompkins, was there with my two cornermen, and one of them was my friend Dizek. I'd gone to the bathroom, and they had told the announcer when he came to find out if, like, how to pronounce my name, make sure that's correct, and if I had a nickname. And they're like, yeah, call him the Pain Train. I hadn't had a nickname yet, and so then I'm standing in the ring, warm, just casually kind of bouncing, staying loose, staying warm. And the announcer announces my name with the nickname, and they're just laughing their asses off. Because now you're stuck with it. And so I just leaned in it hardcore after that.
Oh man, there's so many jokes that I could just flooding my brain, the pain train.
Well, God, my friend Danny always calls me the complain train. He's always like, the complain train, wah, wah.
Are you still all like built out and stuff? Do you still train?
I train jujitsu. My last fight was in 2013, and then I got hit by a drunk driver.
Oh shit!
Right at the beginning of 2014, so that kind of fucked me up pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get my body back to like normal.
Yeah.
Be able to like walk and run and stuff like that. So that kind of ended my career. And then just in the last 4 years, I've gotten my body kind of to where I can run and everything like that now, and I'm fine. I started doing jiu-jitsu again about a year ago, so I'm back to about 100%, I would say.
Nice. So can you kick ass? Like,
I mean, I'm old now, so.
Yeah, how old are you? Like, because I feel like I read in your 40s. What?
Yeah, I'm 42.
That's crazy, dude. You don't look 42 at all.
Oh, thanks.
Like, yeah, I'm like, you might look younger than me. I'm 33.
It's cool. I'm hot. It's all right.
It's all that cocaine and caviar.
It's true.
Yeah. No, I always got fat off of cocaine.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
I've always wondered about people that did meth and cocaine and are fat.
I thought like it doesn't make you hungry or anything like that.
No, man. I was the opposite. Like I wouldn't be hungry, but I would binge real bad. And then I don't know. Because when I was all coked out, like I was always drinking, to bring you down. Like you gotta, and I don't drink. And so I was always drinking to be level, but that puts calories on you too.
Wait, but then why are you even doing the thing if you're just trying to level it out? That's what you eventually learn is like, so why am I like, so I have to take this and then I have to take this to make myself feel normal, which I felt before I did any of this.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I would. My buddy would call me Rain Man because I'd be like fucking, and just talking and like, oh yeah, like,
hey, how's it going? Is your day going good? The weather's nice. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, just jacked out of my mind.
My favorite drug ever was ecstasy, and I would talk people's ears off, their heads off, and I was one of those that was like, let's massage each other. Oh my god, it feels so crazy. Let's put our feet in the grass, like. The annoyingest, like most annoying, happy person. That's my drug of choice.
The typical white girl.
Cocaine, like, no.
The first time I ever had a vibrator or a dildo in my ass was because of ecstasy.
See, I didn't go sexual with it, but tell us about that, please.
Well, I mean,
how big was this dildo? I need to know.
Well, he said a vibrator.
It wasn't that big. I mean, it was okay, but like these two dancers. Had it with them.
Oh.
No, so what happened?
This story needs to continue. I don't know why you keep stopping.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what happened is I'll back it up. My friend, the Crazy Horse had just reopened, and so a guy I knew was friends with one of the bartenders. So we started going down there. anyhow, moving forward a few weeks, it never got busy, but we enjoyed going down there. So fast forward a few weeks later, me and this guy, Esteban, that's my friend who I was going there with, we were hanging out with another one of our friends, Rich. And Rich was kind of drunk and he was like, I want to go with you guys. And, he's a big tatted dude. And we're like, all right. Like he wasn't a problem or anything. He wanted to go with us. And so right when we got there, he went to the center stage and we walked over to the bar. Probably within like 10 minutes, I looked over there and he had this, like mixed girl, like she was gorgeous, like Halle Berry, talking. And I was like, huh. And so I walked over and I was like, gave him his drink and, he introduced me, blah, blah, blah. And so I walked away, kind of let him do his thing. So fast forward maybe an hour, we look over there and not only is that girl there, but this tall, like blonde is there. And so I go back over there and I was like, hey, buddy, what's going on? He was like, oh, this is so-and-so, her roommate. And I was like, all right, cool, awesome. And she was from not the Ukraine. I can't remember. Somewhere like Eastern European. Okay. Was she Slovakia? She might have been Slovakian. I can't remember. She's a tall blonde. Anyhow, so I went back to the bar. We were hanging out. Next thing you know, we noticed Rich left with the two girls. So I was like, cool. All right. So we closed out our tab probably like 30 minutes later. And I start driving home. And my phone rings. Rich calling me. And I'm like, what are you calling me for, buddy? And he was like, hey, man. Like I could tell he was real drunk and he was like, hey, I need you to come get these girls. And I was like, why, what happened? And he was like, his girl was getting off work early. She worked at the club. She was getting off early and coming home. And so he was like, I need you to come get these girls so I can go home.
Right.
And then so I don't get in trouble. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. You need to let them know that's the plan. Because I've had this happen with him. I was like, I'm not going to show up. And then there's just a bunch of fucking confusion.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let him know. And he was like, dude, I will. And so I got there and he was sitting in the parking lot in his car. And he was like, I'm going to drive home. And he lived like 2 blocks from where this was. And he was like, the girls are inside. I told him you were coming and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I was ready to go to bed. Like, I'm fucking tired. Anyhow.
Right.
And if they were interested in Rich, they're not going to be interested in me. And not to say, but we're two distinctly different kind of styles of guys.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not even thinking that. Anyways, I walk inside and they're both sitting up at the bar. And I was like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, because we had met earlier. And they're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And the mixed girl was like, hey, Rich says you have a jacuzzi. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you got like a nice house. And I was like, yeah. They're like, you got any roommates? I was like, no. And they're like, do you got to be at work or anything? And I was like, well, no, I'm just a professional fighter. And so they're like, oh shit, do you like to party? And I was like, well, what kind of party? And she was like, have you ever done Molly? And I go, yeah, but I was like, huh. I don't. I've done Molly a couple times where like it was a sexual situation, but no sex happened. And that kind of sucked. So I didn't want to, I was like, oh, like, I'm
we're going
good.
to do this, better put out. But just
Yeah. I was like, I'm good. I'll drive you home. And they're like, well, no, we want to keep partying. I was like, if I'm going to do that kind of partying, it's because I'm fucking. And they're like, and so she just like stuck it right in my mouth. And I was like, okay, cool. Awesome. And,
the Molly. Okay.
Yeah. And so we were maybe there like 10 minutes and they're like, hey, let's go. And so we went back to my house and they had a bunch, they probably had like an 8-ball with them. And then, so we started doing lines and we started playing strip poker, which basically ended up in them being naked because I never even shuffled the cards. I was just like, oh. Like, they're so fucked up in the sense, they didn't care. They just wanted, and so, that just kind of turned into like a few days of like a sex fest. They had toys for themselves, and so they started having me, when I started letting them try the toys on me, I was like, oh, this ain't bad. So the only thing that sucked about it is I learned my lesson. Like, if you're gonna party that hard, like, you have to have like Viagra, because my dick just stopped working.
Well, yeah.
Like, it just stopped working for
it's
like
all
a
like
day.
chafed and like red and fucking dying.
Oh God, yeah. No, I was definitely dehydrated. So, that's that story.
Wow, that's quite incredible, and the fact that like it was a days long.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Impressive in itself, just because, like, man, even when I was young, I just can't. I'm not a person. I like my sleep. I need to go to bed. I don't want to party late.
Don't like your sleep when you're doing drugs that make you stay wide awake, dude.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I didn't have any work, and we were up for a few days just doing what we were doing.
True.
It's so wild.
I'm envious.
I don't be.
So,
tell us
of the grow house you once had.
Well, that same house those girls were in. So I didn't. So I didn't have the grow house. What happened was when I was fighting, I was also trying to get some extra cash in between fights. I was doing some personal training. And so I was working at one of the Golds, not like lift weights personal training. Like, they had like a mat space and like these cages. They were starting this to do like cardio kickboxing stuff and things like that. So I was teaching like classes and that. And then one of the guys that went to that gym, like, he was kind of like a big meathead guy, but he's super nice. I knew him from the UFC or the Fertitta's private gym at Red Rocks. He was a sports trainer, and he worked with like all the UFC athletes. So, and he had a friend that was like a big meathead, tatted out meathead, always wearing Affliction, like super fan of MMA, but like didn't know much about MMA, but always bragging about who he knew. So anyways, but he was a nice guy, and he sold weed. And so I started buying weed from him, and then me and him, started becoming friends. And then after a while, probably like after a year, he was like, hey man, cause I was getting close to the end of my career. And so I only knew I had a few years left in it, to make a run at stuff. He was like, hey, if you want, you can move into my grow house, like, and learn kind of the business, like, and that, you don't have to pay rent or anything like that.
Hell yeah.
So as long as, like, I'll show you how to maintain the plants and do all the stuff. And that's all you'll be responsible for. I was kind of hesitant. He was like, I have a license for it, because it was still a medical state at the time. And so I was like, okay. And so I moved in there, and I was living there for like 3 years. Now, I had moved out at one point to try to start my own grow house with this other guy, but that fell through. And so I moved back in a couple months later, back to the grow house. And then that guy had a bunch of other grow houses as well. And they all one day got simultaneously raided.
Oh no.
So it was, so what happened, I was coming home from work. Cause this would have been a year, maybe a year after like my accident and stuff. So I had to start working. And so I was going back to school, and I was learning as a truck driver. And so I had finished work, and I was coming back, and I kind of lived in the small little like gated community area. And so there was only 2 ways into it. Anyways, I had come up through the back way just because that was the way I came from work. And when I was pulling in the neighborhood, I noticed like cars, like, which is unusual. And there was these guys in yellow jackets, like they're waving cars to go back. because it was like a big kind of like circle. The neighborhood was like just one way in, one way, or one way here and one way there. And then it was a circle and a little cul-de-sac kind of looped through. And I lived on the horseshoe cul-de-sac. And so you couldn't go that way. You had to go the other way. And so I was going the other way and I was like, this is fucking weird. And I noticed like as soon as one of them turned around, like it had Homeland Security. And I was like, oh, like I just knew. And so, and then when I came around, like I saw, because I could see like my street and I saw like a tank. I saw like cop cars everywhere. I was like, oh, fuck. And so as I finished looping around, then I could see my street and there was a tank through the front door, like through the front, like the front of the house was gone.
Wow.
Like, and another tank. And like, there had to be at least 40 or more SWAT guys.
What
like
the
cops
fuck?
everywhere, news camera. And I was like, what the fuck?
You didn't turn
so
around.
Then they
you just like got out, like, hey.
Well, no, they were just waving cars through. They weren't stopping anybody. So then they were directing us. So then I went the other way, and I was like, immediately I was on the phone, like, oh shit, all right, calling like the 911 numbers, like I'm supposed to call in that situation. And so then I finally got through to one of the people, and he was like, "No, man, all the houses got raided." So
did you get popped for it?
Yeah, no, like I went to jail.
No. Oh no.
Yeah, no. So then I, as soon as like I knew they got raided and everything like that, I made a couple phone calls because like I knew I was going to jail. Like, so I made sure, I called my girlfriend who became my fiance. I was like, hey man, this is about to happen. And she knew, like, luckily a few months before I had told her about the grow house. So the only thing that sucked about the whole situation is because me and her I had just given my 30-day notice to the guy that I was moving out because we had found a place. Like we were getting ready to move. So I was like, oh, it was such a kick in the dick.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had to get bail money. One of our mutual friends had to get my bail money and everything like that ready. So as soon as I got taken away, so it's like, all right.
Dude.
So how long were you in jail for that time? I'm surprised you didn't just keep going. Like I would have just left.
Well, I mean, dude, they're gonna find. Like I lived in that house. Like
yeah.
my mail came to that house. Like,
sure, okay, yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, you just got to accept some responsibility in that situation. Anyhow, no, like it's just weed. So it's not like, I had guns or anything like that in the house. So it's like, all right, what's like the worst that's going to happen? It's fucking weed. I'd never been in trouble in a drug crime before.
Right.
So weird thing is like drug crimes are different. So, anyhow, yeah. So I got the bail ready and then I already had a lawyer ready and the lawyer's like, just don't say anything. And so that's it. Like I just told them like, I'm not saying anything. They asked me a bunch of questions. I didn't know. I already had a lawyer. So it's like, all I have to do is plead the fifth. Like, you're going to arrest me and I'm going to be able to bond out. That's just like, it's just weed. It's like, and because it's a medical state, like it's not as harsh. Now, if that was still been a Schedule I, it would have been a lot different story. Yeah. But it's a medical state. And we knew they weren't, criminally prosecuting, to a certain degree. The only thing that sucked is I had to go on probation I was supposed to be on probation for 3 years. And only ended up being 2 years because a year after I got arrested and then convicted and took the probation, they legalized it recreationally.
Oh wow.
And so it was so fucking ridiculous, right? So after a year, then once it became recreational, they told us like a month before, like, here, fill this stuff out as soon as January 1st comes, like you have to have this waiver so you guys can smoke weed. And I was like, so I'm on probation for marijuana. And now you're allowing me to smoke marijuana while on probation for marijuana.
Yeah. Like
sounds ass backwards. Sounds about right.
Stuff, right?
Yeah. So, and so I just kind of, the last year was kind of easy. It sucked though, because I was trying to leave Las Vegas. Like, I wanted to get out of there just because with that happening, and then I kind of felt like I was spiraling because I was just partying. I was depressed because I couldn't fight anymore. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And then my friend was like, hey man, we got this TV show. Why don't you come help us on it? So I was like, all right. And then now here we are.
Hey, man, that's awesome. It's all crazy though. So what is the exact timeline in between? Like, you had the MMA, you got the accident, then you actually first you did the Ketchup stuff, then you did the MMA and all that, and now you're doing the filming.
Well, I had a lot of stuff in between the MMA. So the Ketchup happened, and then while I was finishing up college, I got into a bar fight. And so at the time while I was in college, I was on USA weightlifting. So I was, I was a long shot. I wasn't going to make like the 2004 team, but like I still wanted the opportunity to go to the Olympic trials. And I had qualified for nationals and All-American at the universities. So that was kind of, I was going to do that and then go to law school. And then I got into a bar fight and fucked this guy up, and I had to go to jail for 3 years. And so while I was there, I started, when I was out, I started doing MMA fights. And so I would go up on Friday nights to Kansas City and do an amateur MMA fight, and then I would come back for jail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I did that. Yeah.
So, like, did they take you out of the ring with cuffs on? You're just like, all right, bye, guys.
No, they didn't know I was going up there.
Oh.
Like, I was out on like work release. Like, I could go,
Right, okay.
and then every Friday night I had to check back in at a certain time. So long as I was back by a certain time, like they never knew I was fighting.
I feel like it would have been a lot more intimidating for the opponent had like you just had police people like bringing you in like Hannibal Lecter, and like you just you're ready to go.
Yeah, until you go get knocked out, then that'd be embarrassing. Like, this weirdo.
Hey, at least it was a good show, though. You put on a production.
I had this one guy when I fought in Arizona. He came out in a samurai uniform, like a whole wardrobe, had the sword, and they took it off of him, like it was the whole thing. And then I fucked him up, like. I kind of felt bad. I'm like, this fucking dipshit like came out and all that, and then just got stroked.
Maybe that was his claim to fame. That's the only thing he had.
Hey, you gotta have a shtick. I mean, it works. Is there anywhere we can like find these fights, or you drinking Ketchup? Like, I have to see.
I don't know the Ketchup. Like, they used to be able to find it on the internet, and then I have like some VHS tapes. From
Can we have a watch party?
Yeah, no, like I don't even have a VHS, and it's kind of one of those you can't even play them now.
Yeah, you can. You got to.
But yeah, no, you can see some of my fights. Like I fought a bunch. Like I was on TV a lot. I had actually a pretty decent career. Like I wasn't a great fighter, but I was good.
What was your record?
When I retired, it was 13-8-2 as a pro, and then 7-1 as an amateur.
Shit. So, like, the pro league was just a lot. You were going up against a lot harder people, and more well trained. Amateur was just like you were just fucking people up on the streets or something. Like people coming off the streets to want to fight.
Well, no, you just as you get better, you just get better. You fight better competition, and eventually, I fought competition that was better than me.
So, did you ever get like any KOs, like any one hit KOs?
I never got a one-hitter KO, but I had 6 TKOs.
Nice. That's what's up.
Oh, fighting makes me so anxious. I feel like in the streets, it won't stop unless someone's dead. That's what it like makes me feel like.
It's usually the way to go.
No, that's why it makes me anxious. I don't want people to fight.
The fucked up thing is most people don't even know how to fight. Like, and then most people think they can fight.
That is true.
My Earl does like ninja moves in the in the living room, and it's pretty impressive. I think he learned it from anime, though.
No.
No, but it's like I think it's really actually.
He'll run at you like the Naruto guy, like
Naruto. And no, he actually did not maybe I don't think it was jujitsu, but one of those. I did karate.
Did you?
I really actually did. Yeah. I went to those little competitions, got picture in front of the American flag. What?
Did you ever break up like one of those pieces of woods?
No, I never got that far. I think I got to an orange belt.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I don't honestly know like the color ranking. I have no
I
fucking
think
clue.
it's like white, yellow, orange, green, maybe. And then brown and black.
Nor do I even know what it takes, so I have no idea. But Dustin, the Pain Train Phillips.
I was telling Josh that we should call this Ketchup with the Pain Train, or that might need to be like a YouTube channel for you.
Oh, Jesus.
Ketchup with the Pain Train?
That could be a podcast, a solo podcast.
I'm just saying, bro, you've got something, like, you got to do something. I also would like some merch with you chugging ketchup, please.
The merch with me chugging ketchup.
But like being all muscular and fighting, maybe like, yeah, just combine them all, the things, while shooting a movie.
Well, I gotta say, man, it's been awesome catching up because, you know, we've met through a mutual friend, and it was had an awesome wedding, or attended an awesome wedding. We didn't get married or anything like that.
Oh, come on, guys.
I was the fiance he was talking about. No.
Nah, but he kept trying to make out with me. I was like, bro, we just met. Come on.
Yeah. I was like, you want this little ball tickler here?
I was like, I know this. I know I look good in this dress, but come on. Don't let your emotions go running away. It was just a wedding.
So, I mean, one thing we always ask everybody before is any words of wisdom that you would like to pass along to our fellow listeners.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think I'm that wise of a person.
You are. You had to be.
I mean, yeah, man, you've gone through the experience to gain the wisdom.
I mean, I guess when going anal, make sure they didn't eat prior.
Oh, and lube it up, please.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
lube it
given,
up.
though.
Come on.
But I'm telling you, you want to make sure they have not ate. It's like swimming, right? Like,
Okay. Why?
Poop noodles. You get the little poodles.
No, man.
Poop
No, I
noodles?
mean, bad experiences.
Oh,
Really?
Man.
Yeah, like
We have
soft
an
serve.
after-
Like soft serve. Terrible.
Like it just fell out?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to have to have another
Can we have a
episode.
follow-up episode on this, please?
What?
I said, can we have a follow-up?
I don't know. Like, this is super late for me.
No.
No, I mean,
when
like,
you're a single
another
man,
day.
we're definitely having you back on so we can get all the details out.
I think he is single and he just doesn't want to tell all the things to the ladies, the potential ladies.
Look at that man. He ain't single.
Are you single?
Well, I mean, yeah, technically. I mean, but I've started talking to somebody that I would like to not embarrass.
Exactly.
In case for whatever reason they listen to this podcast.
Because you're going to share it.
Yeah, you have to tell him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
You're like, here, honey, get to know the real me.
Yeah, no, see, I feel like to getting to know the real me is like a long spread out buildup.
I feel like it certainly is, seeing as like this was a good like hour. So
Yeah, I can't hit you all with that at once. Your mind will explode.
probably.
I can only.
Like if you were dating me, like, you know, that's a lot of information to be like,
I almost would like date you just to find out more stories and then be like, wonder if it's ever like fully satisfying, you know? Like at the what year do you get to that you finally have told like all the things?
I don't know because I feel
You're
like
like by the 10th year you get you get.
I feel like I'm still in the story mode.
I mean, you are. It's true.
Well,
So ladies, hit him up, you know? I mean, don't hit him up.
yeah, catch up with the pain train.
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Look him up on Tinder as Ketchup with the Pain Train.
No, I got rid of all my dating apps.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good.
I feel yeah, you know.
So it's like serious then. Okay, sorry, Josh. Josh, I know. He's like,
Yeah, I know. You just keep going. I'm like, all right, well.
No, I wouldn't say it. No, it's by no means like serious. It's not to that point. It's just one of those like, why not give it a try?
Oh yeah, you should
like a fair shot.
Yeah.
Like
Always.
if I'm trying to still holler at other girls, like what's the point of that?
That's his advice.
I'm a romantic at heart.
Yeah, that's what all guys say.
Well, that's good.
All guys say that. So.
Hey, I grew up watching nothing but rom-coms. Like, so I was a weirdo in high school and college because like I would show up singing and doing flowers and things like that. And they're like, who the fuck is this weirdo?
This guy watched The Wedding Singer.
Yeah. No, that's a great movie. Now when you're older, like it's actually like, you know, appreciated a little bit. They're like, all right, this guy's kind of nice.
He understands.
With me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, it was great having you on, and I hope we get to have you back sometime, especially after you get this documentary out. We can talk more about it, and when things start really blowing up for you, man.
Where can
that would be nice. That would be nice.
Can I be friends with you on social media, or do you not do that?
What are you
I think I added you actually.
You guys already added me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell the listeners about it. That's what I was saying.
She has to pee again probably, so she's just all over.
I really do.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody. Stay mindless.
Yes, all that.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.